Is his shirt saying Intifada? Welcome back to another episode of Torturing Myself So You Don't Have To. I have never watched this movie before. This is the first time I'm watching and reacting to it. Let's get to it. A Tikkun Olam production. Oh God, Lord, it's gonna be great, isn't it? Oh boy, I'm gonna have a good time with this one, aren't I?
Congratulations to Simone Zimmerman for winning the Israel Jubilee Contest. February 1998. I was 7.
Wait until she finds out all of Judaism revolves around Israel. And not just her little graduation, like every holiday, every ceremony, every tradition, every prayer. It's all Israel.
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 Israel. Israel.
Israel.
Israel.
Israel. Israel. Israel. Israel.
Israel.
Israel. Israel.
Israel.
Israel.
And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me?
Israel is Judaism and Judaism is Israel.
Because Judaism and Israel are the same. You can't separate it. And that's why when you separate Judaism from Israel, it's colonial. It's inherently colonial.
Even here, no Holocaust survivor will say to you it could never happen again.
Really? That's the movie they wanted me to watch? It only got more relevant. Anything since this movie was made, the world proved that Jews need Israel more, not less.
Every time I would visit Israel, I felt closer and closer.
It's almost like that's where you're from.
One of the programs we did was called Kadna, where we spent a day pretending to be soldiers in the Israeli army. We wore army uniforms, and stuff like that was just sort of a normal part of what our childhood.
At summer camp, in the middle of the night, they would wake us up and take us out. Sometimes that was to pull pranks, and other times I remember doing military games, using the command Pazatsta, sneaking around.
Oh boy, okay, this is going to be a shock to Americans of what Pazatsta is and why we have these exercises and why they're important in Israel. But in the Middle East, you have to be ready to terrorists wanting to kill you at any given point in time, right? It's kind of like when you have an active shooter, right? Israelis are constantly on edge and having to be drilled for any emergency at any time, all right? Even as I am filming this video, there was a shooting terror attack in Israel literally this morning. So Israelis is part of our culture. We have to be ready for an active threat at all times, to the point that we kind of gamified it, right? That's how survival works. That's also how animals do it in the nature. You have to gamify survival. And part of how Israelis gamified survival for teenagers is through Pazatsta, right? It's literally the equivalent of stop, drop, and roll, but for a terror threat. This is so funny to me to watch him complain about having to participate in a drill. Can you imagine what it's like for us that live through the real scenario?
Simulating being in the military and sneaking around and having to be a part of that.
Not in the military, you're simulating being under attack.
APAC is just the thing that you do.
Like going to the APAC conference is just
APAC
sort of seen
is
as
not
like a
even the
community
top
event.
10 lobbying groups in America, all right? Like, what are you saying? Do you think America is that cheap?
A couple of students would say, yeah, I'm thinking about joining the IDF one day. So my first thing is saying to them, are you sure?
That's really funny that they're trying to present it as us brainwashing everyone, because the first thing that I say as well to anyone who tells me they're thinking about joining the IDF is like, are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want to do?
So when I enlisted, I was a magist, which is a heavy machine gunist during my basic and advanced training, and then they put me on a light machine gun.
So he flunked out. So basically what happened is that he flopped out of his real gun, and then he got downgraded to a non-combat role, to a lighter gun, and he sounds a little bit jaded there.
1 week was focused on urban warfare in close quarters, and that was simulated in what looked like Arab housing.
You know why Israel has to do that? Do you know why Israel has to simulate urban warfare inside of Arab houses? Do you know where our hostages were on October 7? Do you know where the entrance are to all the tunnels in Gaza? Could you imagine if they were inside Arab houses?
So that we could make our presence felt. We wanted them to know that we were watching.
God forbid.
The goal of the mission.
Do you know what happens when we're not watching?
We would set up what's called a checkpost, which is a checkpoint. At checkpoints, we would stop people, create a traffic jam, check their IDs, check their trunks, every day on their way.
We're not just checking them for fun.
Ever since I came back from the States, I
Palestinian tour guides.
People understand.
Is his shirt saying Intifada? Your Palestinian tour guide shirt? Really? That's the tour guide you want to sell me on? That's who you're trying to sell to me as the peaceful Palestinian? Intifada? 48?
Of course, like your first experience with a soldier is terrorizing.
Maybe you shouldn't be wearing a shirt that says Intifada. Okay, so technical difficulties aside.
It got to hit me that people look at Palestine and Palestinians from the point of view of the oppressor, not from the point of view of the oppressed. I was born to a family of victims. The ethnic cleansing of Palestine, the term Nakba, the catastrophe, is the tragedy or catastrophe that hit almost every single Palestinian family, nearly 750,000 victims.
Who like lets their child do this? It's a group of grown men just sending a child to go climb the bars.
A battle for Jerusalem. At least 26 people are reported.
That is actually such a bad edit, whoever did this. The battle for Jerusalem is something else entirely, and now they're showing you the Sbarro pizza place, where a suicide bomber blew up a pizza place, killing several civilians, and including among them are several children.
عز الدين القسام كانت فسرتها أنا أسأل الله أن أكون قد فسرتها بشكل صحيح حبيبي.
That's a system that's based on violence.
No, that's a system that's based on protection. Also, many of the incidents you're watching here are staged or either provoked.
Security? I don't know, we'll see.
See how he's trying to get something out of him? You see how he's trying to push and provoke him, and he's like, it's security. I don't know. We'll see, right? They're taking him to be interrogated, and he's trying to poke the camera in his face. I'm like, come on, say something, Jew, say something incriminating.
A Palestinian lives under a different legal system.
Which, again,
than an
if
Israeli
all they
settler.
wanted was a state, they'd have one by now. But they refuse to have a state unless there are no Jews in it, and then they cry that they don't have a state. And you can see, like, look at how she's yelling at him, trying to get as much in his face as possible, trying to steer a reaction, any of them trying to poke a stick in their face.
But there's also another modern battle that is happening on campuses each and every single day. And you are standing in the front.
I do wonder how they feel about how all of that aged, quite literally. And that's why you see, after October 7th, the most radical places were universities and teachers.
Jewish students, you are crying about feeling silenced and marginalized. You know, my aunts and cousins didn't sleep for weeks while bombs were falling overhead in Gaza. What do you have to say to that?
Ooh, I know exactly what to say to that. Maybe if they prioritized their own people instead of killing Jews, or maybe if they didn't think that killing Jews was a hobby, or maybe if they weren't so proud about slaughtering Jews, maybe then they wouldn't get bombs flowing under their head. Here's what I have to say to that. And let me tell you why you don't want to divest from Israel. Because if you divest from Israel, one, that affects not only Jews, that also affects Palestinians. See, because the Israeli economy is also what Palestinians are fed off of. The entire Palestinian economy depends on the Israeli economy. So when you want to divest from Israel, you don't care about the people. You just care about choking the system.
Occupation, settlements, apartheid, ethnic cleansing.
Buzzwords.
Do we not have an actual counter argument besides like Rocket's double standard anti-Semitism?
But no, we do have counter arguments to all of that. It's just not well known, not documented, the knowledge is not there, or if the knowledge is said, it's been...
I mean, somehow pro-Palestinian has become pro-social justice.
Which is insane because y'all are supporting a terrorist organization.
The summer after my freshman year, I went to Palestine and
she crossed on a tour guide. Y'all go on a tour guide as a group of like clueless Western people and think that you're gonna get treated like the average person? Diaspora coordinator. Wow. Again, this is so staged and fake. So the day that this happens, they just bring the tour in there. Who sends a little girl to go collect water like that alone? Like, it was not needed. We are not in Africa.
What we've been told is that the only way that Jews can be safe is if Palestinians are not.
No. That's not what we're saying. No, we would love for everyone to be safe. It's really funny that they're going to Bethlehem. Let's look at the population of Bethlehem. How many Christians were in Bethlehem in 1948 and how many Christians are in Bethlehem now? And no, Israel is not the reason there are less Christians. There's a reason they're taking her to Bethlehem and not Jenin. I would love to see them do these trips in Jenin, in Ramallah. They're taking you to the Christian sites in Bethlehem. This is so not fair.
For me to get to Jerusalem, I have to think of, first of all, having the permit, getting to the checkpoint, waiting in lines for the checkpoint, getting...
For me to go anywhere, I have to think in Israel, oh shit, is this place gonna blow up?
Where the feeling is that as Jews, we're always attacked. We've always been attacked. We will always be attacked. That would prevent this from happening again.
I mean, that's what I learned.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And that's what they're trying to do. Like, that's the whole point of October 7. They were trying to do it again, and we're trying to stop it from happening again. And Hamas had said that they will continue to do this again and again and again until we're all dead.
There have always been Jews who have spoken out for Palestinian rights.
There were also Jews for Hitler.
Every time I've protested outside of a Jewish communal event of some kind, I have seen a friend, a family friend, a parent of a friend.
Why are you protesting outside of Jewish events and Jewish communities? What are you protesting exactly when you're protesting against Jewish events and Jewish communities?
Our
not
community
the
right now
Israeli
has to
government
grapple with our
buildings.
complicity.
No. You're not complicit. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. They're trying to frame the entire Jewish community as complicit in something, as if the entire Jewish community is now liable. And I'm just wondering, leave me in the comments down below, which Muslims should I be holding accountable for the Islamic Republic? And which Muslim is complicit in all the executions in the name of God?
My name is Talia. This is the first time I am using my full real name.
JVP is not Jewish and it's not for peace. Is a sock puppet by the Islamic Republic, and they actively support terrorists, openly, brazenly terrorists. It's not for peace, and they're not Jewish. They're trying so hard to make this look dramatic when I've seen what Iranians go through in Iran.
I don't think it's as serious as it's made. It wasn't necessarily a joke. I don't want war, but it's been imposed on us.
Exactly. Now, and let me put it this way. If radical Islam is White Walkers, Israel is the wall, all right? Our lovely neighbors don't like you either.
I was seen as a face of this young, growing Jewish resistance to the American Jewish establishment.
Y'all are so stupid. Like, you think that Free Palestine is gonna look like sunshine and rainbows, but it's not going to look great. Free Palestine is not going to be free or liberated. What does a free Palestine look like? Because it sure as hell doesn't look like freedom.
There's always been this argument of, oh, you can't criticize Israel. Criticizing Israel feeds anti-Semitism. Criticizing Israel helps the enemies of Israel.
And that's not true. You can criticize Israel, but there's a way to criticize Israel without supporting terrorism. This isn't it.
Unwillingness to grapple with Palestinian suffering is putting a lot of American Jews in a really dangerous and sad position. We're seeing like a horrifying culmination of what support of Israel at all costs has led to.
Wait, are we?
Disregarding any lesson of history, disregarding any sort of morality.
Are we responsible for January 6th now? Are they trying to frame us for January 6th? It's so funny how bad they need to demonize Trump and like present him as like the worst thing ever, but you can say whatever you want about Trump and you still won't get executed, unlike the Middle East, where if you even just whisper against Hamas, the Ayatollah, you'd be killed. But you don't want to talk about that, do you?
The way that we talk about anti-Semitism isn't about protecting Jews, it's about protecting Israel. How dangerous is that at this moment with the rise of anti-Semitism?
I literally just said, yeah, there you go. They really don't understand. These people see Jews as the representation of Israel and vice versa. No matter what you do, they will blame you for anything. You can be the goodest good Jew you can, and they're still gonna hate you because you're Jewish.
These people have basically decided that support for Israel is more important than the safety of Jews.
No, because you know who's responsible for the safety of Jews worldwide? You know who's responsible for the safety of Jews worldwide? Israel. And that's why when you support Israel, you support protecting Jews.
The gunman told a SWAT officer that he wanted all Jews to die and that they were committing genocide against his
There you
people.
go. See how suddenly it's okay to kill Jews for Palestine? That's exactly what we have in Israel too. Suddenly all Jews are responsible for Palestine. And I'm still wondering which Muslim should I be holding accountable for the Islamic Republic.
Trying to brand Palestinian protest as anti-Semitic when there were neo-Nazis trying to kill us in our synagogues.
Both can be true. That's the thing. The alt-right and the alt-left both meet at hating Jews. That's really what they meet on. The horseshoe theory as a circle, anti-Semitism, connecting people.
For me, I would say if anybody has any influence on Israeli policy, and I say this with a big F, it is the American Jewish
So
community.
they know what they're doing. I mean, it's smart.
And protest against this occupation, it will allow other voices to say, yes, we could also have a voice in it as well.
No, you cannot. See, that's the thing. They're trying to get more people involved in this. Why do you need more people involved in this?
The most inspiring experiences I had are with Jewish Americans that come in and take a stand.
And y'all don't see how this entire movie is about soliciting Americans to take a stand?
In America, we have this concept of innocent until proven guilty. There is no innocent Palestinian, according to the army.
That's so not true.
In occupied territory.
And you can see people, oh my God, I love that they went into this shitting on Israel event and they're in a shitting on Israel event and they already have people contesting her, telling her that's not true. And it's not true. I can tell you that that's not true. We have a concept of an innocent Palestinian. And trust me, we would much rather deal with an innocent Palestinian than a Palestinian that's about to blow up.
The first time I ever spoke publicly about my experiences, I cried the whole time that I was speaking.
And you know why I'm laughing? Because your experiences in the Middle East are not even a fraction of experiences in the Middle East, right? The average Israeli or Iranian has so much more trauma than all of your experiences combined.
I've been longing for this Jewish conversation.
There is nothing about that panel that looks Jewish to me. Look at how guilty and terrible everyone feels. This is about making everyone feel as guilty as possible. Look at them squirming and trying to like capture the guilt. Each obviously like grappling with their own issues, and they're like, yes, I'm horrible. I'm a horrible, horrible oppressor, and I am here to dismantle oppression. Yikes.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.